it's a collection of key value pair. You all might have seen this kind of a dictionary in your life. So here there are always a variable, let's say we can call it as a word. This is a word, and the definition of word is always attached to it, right? So this kind of dictionary you might have seen. So there is a key, like abortive is a key, and the value which is associated with is written on the right side. So that kind of data structure is called as a dictionary. So dictionary means there will always be some key, and with respect to that key there will always be some value. Okay, so that is what you call as a dictionary. If you can see this example, let's say a is equals to, see this here in a double quotes it is a key, and after writing colon in a double quotes there is a value. Okay, so let's for example understand this college. This college is a key, and this snjb is the value. So whenever I am going to use this key, automatically snjb values will be replaced there. Okay, so in this way you can create the dictionary. Now let's create the dictionary and try to figure out how to run it. Okay, so let's start. Let's say I am creating a dictionary a is equals to, and always understand, you whatever the dictionary you have to create, you have to always create it in a angular bracket. Okay, so this is the angular bracket. Here you will write the key. Okay, so let's say for example I am writing a key name, and associated value with that key you have to write down after colon. So let's say this is the value snjb, this is the value. So this is how you have to write down the key. Okay, now we will try to print it. Let's say we are printing a, so we will get the value name and snjb. This is the key, this name is nothing but the key, and its associated value is snjb. Okay, now let's add some more values to it. Let's say for example we are adding some more values. Let's say we are adding some more values. Let's say college, and here we are writing, always understand, two values should always be separated with the comma. Okay, so this is a second key. The second key we are giving the name as a college, and after the colon what you have to write down, sngb's college of engineering. So here I am writing snjb coe. Okay, so here we have given two keys, and for these two keys we have two different values. Okay, and if I try to print it, let's check. So it will give us the two values. So name is snjb and college is snjb coe. So here there are two keys, name and college, these are the two keys, and snjb and snjb coe is the values. Okay, so in this way you can create the different keys. Like let's say for example we have a marks, so we can create the marks here. Let's say we have the marks like 100, so I'm writing here 100. Okay, and if I try to print it, so it will print 100. So one more key which I have added is marks, and the value which I have given is 100. This 100 I have not inserted in a double quotes because this is the integer value, so there is no need to write double quotes. Okay, this dictionary you can write any kind of a data type inside this dictionary. Okay, you can create the list also. So if you want to create the list of the marks, what you will do, here in a square bracket you will write like 100, 200 and 300. Here I have created the list. If you can see here I have created the list of the three different values, and I am storing this into the marks. So if I try to run it, I will get the value. See this marks 100, 200 and 300. So in this way you can use the list. Now if I want to print a particular value out of this dictionary, I can do it with the help of key. Okay, let's say for example I'm getting this kind of output when I am running the code, because I am printing the entire dictionary, right? I am getting this kind of code. Now let's say for example I want to only print the name of the college. Okay, so what I will do here, I will use print a, and inside this I will use the name of the key. So what is the name of the key? It's college. And what is its value? snjb coe, right? So what I will do, I will copy this and I will paste it here. What I have done, I have just copied the key inside the dictionary and I have tried to print the value. So if I try to print it, I will get the value snjb coe only. Okay, if you want to print the marks, just copy this and paste it here, you will get the marks. See this 100, 200 and 300. So in this way you have to create the list and you can print the values. Always understand that whatever the values which you have to print, you should always write the key of that value. Okay, and this interpreter will always understand that this key belongs to this, and the value which is associated with this is snjb coe. So that's why whenever I will use college here, it will always try to print the value snjb coe. Okay, now understand the different things also. So I have already told you how to print the values. Now what are the properties of the dictionary? what are the important properties of the dictionary is it is always unordered. Unordered means what? It means there is no fixed position of any key, so you cannot print like this, that print the key which is on the first location. If you expect this, that when you say that print the key which is on the first location, you will get the output SNJB COE. No, it's not possible, because it is unordered. That means there is no fixed order of the elements here. So this key, it's not, its representation is not like this. They are not stored like this, 0 1 2. They are not stored like this. Okay, so that is unorderity. Okay, so unorderity means there is no fixed structure, like in the array we have seen, like in the list we have seen. So dictionary is not ordered. Okay, next thing is it is mutable. Now what is mean by mutable? Mutable means you can change the value of the elements. Okay, so here if the value of the college is SNJB COE, I can change it to any other value. Okay, now let's try to change it. Let's say I am changing the value of, let's say, a, and in the bracket properly write the name of the key. So here C is a capital C, so I am writing here C as a capital equals to, let's say, the value which I have given is SNJBCOE, and here I am writing KKW. And if I try to print it, let's say I will print the entire dictionary. What is the value I will get? See this, college will be replaced with KKW. Okay, so here I am changing the value. Okay, so the value of the dictionary can be changed. So that is an important thing. Now if you want to change the marks of the dictionary, what you will do? Let's say for example, a of marks. So here you will write a of marks, and if you will write the value like this, let's say 50, 25 and 50. Oh sorry, 50, 25 and 50. So you have changed the value. Here you have changed the value, and if you try to print it, you will get a different value, 50, 25 and 50. It means it's mutable. It's mutable means what? The values which we have given can be changed. Okay, so that is another property. And what is the last property? It can contain duplicate key. Sorry, it cannot contain a duplicate key. It cannot contain a duplicate key means what? You cannot have the same key. You cannot have the same key for two different values. Okay, that means what? If you, let's say for example, here you are giving a value to the college as KKW, right? And there is already one value. So there is already one key which name is college, and the value is given SNJB COE, right? So here the key is same, right? And there are two different values, but there cannot be a two different duplicate keys. So that's why KKW SNJB COE is replaced by KKW. When we try to change the value, see this here, college is equals to KKW. We have given the value KKW to college. So what dictionary has done, wherever it will find the college key, it will replace this value. So one key cannot have a two different values. Always understand this. Okay, it cannot have a different value for the same key. So that is the third property. Okay, now I forgot to tell you one more thing, that you can create the two dictionaries within one other. So here there is already one key, sorry, one dictionary whose name is A. Now I can create another dictionary inside this A. Okay, let's say for example creating another dictionary. Here I am creating a dictionary B, right? Now here first of all you have to write down comma here, because this is the another element I am adding here, and within a bracket I am creating one more dictionary which name is B, and here I am writing the value. Let's say for example I want to give the country, I want to add one more element as country, right? And the value of the country is India, and I want to add one more element here, one more key here. So let's say population, I'm adding population, right? And here I'm giving the value, let's say 130 crore. Okay, so this is the value I'm giving, 130 crore. Okay, so if you try to print it, let's say this is the dictionary I'm printing. Now this another dictionary I have created inside this dictionary. The outer dictionary is A and the inner dictionary is B. Okay, so if I try to print it, you will see another dictionary is already printed. Okay, so you can create different dictionaries inside a dictionary. Okay, so that is what is a dictionary. Dictionary is something, it's a data structure where you have some keys and some values are associated to it. Okay, so let's back to our presentation. Now let's come to the point, some of the methods which are commonly used on a dictionary. So these are some of the methods: keys, values, items, update, and get. Now we will see each method in a detail. Now, what is the use of this keys method? Okay, this method prints the keys of the dictionary. So whatever the keys we have given, like name, college, marks, these are the keys that will be printed. Okay, so if you want to print the keys, what you have to do is, here you have to write down print. Here you have to write down the variable which you have used for creating the dictionary, and get get keys, sorry, a dot keys. So this is the function which you have to use. Now this function will return all the keys. Let me check. Key attribute, key has dict attribute doesn't have keys. Just a minute. Print. Okay. Now here I have run the code and I'm getting the output dictionary keys. These are the keys: name, college, marks. So these are the keys: name, college, and marks. And there is one more dictionary we have added, but inner dictionary will also be considered as a key. So this is another key at the end which we have added. So B is again the coming at the end. Okay. So this, for second dictionary, it is also treating it as a key. Okay. Now let's get the values in the similar way. The keys, with the help of this key function, we will get all the keys. Now if you want to get all the values, you will get with the help of values function. Okay, so again this function you have to apply it on a dictionary. So let's say, for example, I want to print the values. So print a dot, and here I will write values. So if I try to run it, I will get the output, all the values here. See this dictionary values: SNJB, KKW. These are the marks, and these are the values of a second dictionary. Okay. Now let's see third function, items. It returns a list of key value tuples. So if we want to get the items, we are going to use this function items. Now let's check. Print a dot items. Okay. Now see what is the output we are getting. Here we are getting the actual output. So name SNJB. This is the name SNJB. This is the item, and this is the key, and this is the value. Comma. How many values we have given? It is coming separately, one by one. Okay. So here these are all the items: name SNJB, college, KKW, marks. These are the marks. And again we have second item B, and there is a value: country India, population 130 crore. Okay. So this is nothing but the dict item function. Okay. Now update, let's say you want to update something. Let's say, for example, here we have a college name SNGBCOE and we have to update it. So we can use the update function, but I already told you another method to update. Okay, so what is the update function? Update the dictionary with supplied key value pair. Okay, so here dictionary is updated with this a key and with this a value. So let's say, for example, I want to update something. What I will do, I will use a dot update. This is the function, and here I will write the key. So what is the key? Let's say name. I want to change the name. So here I will write name and its corresponding value. Let's say I'm giving the value. Let's say XYZ. Okay. And if I try to print it, print a. Now check. So here the name is changed to XYZ. Okay. So this is how you have to use the update function, and get this get function returns the given key, the value of the given key, right? So let's say, for example, you want to print a particular value. Let's say you want to print the name of the college. So with the help of get function, you can print the college name. Okay, so let's try to run it also. So the function for doing this is the get function, and here you have to write down just a dot get, and here you have to write down the key. So what is the key here? Let's say you want to print the college. So here you have to print it. You have to write it in a double quotes, and you have to print it inside the print function. So you will get the corresponding value. You will get the value whichever it is given. Okay, so here you are getting KKW. We have given here SNJB COE, but here we have changed it. That's why we are getting the value KKW here, because here on a line number 13 we have changed the value. So these are all the functions of a dictionary methods. Okay. Now let's understand sets. A set is a collection of non-repetitive elements. So what exactly means a non-repetitive? You cannot have two same values inside a set. Okay, so let's see what exactly is a set. So here let's say I'm creating a set S is equals to, I'm giving the value, let's say 10, 20 and 30. Okay, so these are the three values inside a set. If I try to print it, let's check, print S, we will get the value 10, 20 and 30. Okay, now what is mean by non-repetitive value? We cannot have two same values inside a set. Okay, so if I try to write 10 here again, so I will get 10 only once. I will not get the value 10 two times. Okay, so that is what is set. Set contains a non-repetitive value. Okay, and if I try to print the type of the set, let's see type, and if I try to print it, I will get the value set. Okay, so this is what is a set. Okay, now if I create one more set, let's say S1, right, and I doesn't give any value, I haven't given any value here. So if I try to print it, let's check S1, and if I try to print it again, what is the output we will get? We are expecting the output set. Oh, just a minute, type S1, so here S is small. Now check, so you're at one first place we are getting the output set and we are getting the values, but at a second place we are getting S1 as dictionary, not as a set. So always understand, if you are creating a set with a zero value, you will not be able to create like this. Okay, so if you want to create a set with zero value, what you have to write down here is a set. This is a function which you have to use. Now S and S1 both are the set. Now let's check. So here we are getting the value set. See this, so S1 is also created as a set. Okay, now what we will do now, we will add some values to S1. Now I hope you have understood this, so I am removing this. Now let's say we want to add some value. Okay, so I'm adding some values here. Let's say I'm adding 50. Okay, let's say I'm adding 60. These are some of the values I'm adding. S dot add. If you want to add some values to the set, you have to use S dot add, this function. Let's say I'm adding 100. Okay, and if I try to print it, I will get the value 10. See this, 100, 10, 50, 20, 60 and 30. So these are the values which we have added. Okay, so if you want to add the similar value again, let's say if I try to add 100 again, what will happen? It will not add again. Okay, because the 100 element is already present. Name of the S is not defined. Okay, okay, here I have used S. I have to use capital S. Okay, so I'll try to run it. Here 100 is already present into the set. So even if I try to add it, it will not get added into the set, because set is a non-repetitive element. Okay, so no matter how many times you are adding it, it will not add. Even if you try to add it multiple times, it will not add. Okay, I have tried to run it. If you can see, only one time the 100 value is added. Okay, so that is what is a set. Set doesn't contain any repetitive value. Okay, so this is how you can create the set. You can add the values, and this is how, if you are using an empty set, you have to use like this. You have to create a syntax like this. Okay, now let's see the next part. What are the properties of the sets? The sets are unordered. That means their order doesn't matter. If you can see it, here we are trying to print it. 100 is printing on the first place, then 10 is printing, then 50 is printing. So the order of the element is not fixed in the set. Okay, the second is sets are unindexed. You cannot access an element by an index. You cannot use like this s dot print, and you cannot give the index like the way we are working on the arrays, or the way we are working on the list. If you try to print the index, you will get the values, but here the set are not indexed. That means you cannot print the value by using the index. Okay, it is not the 0th position, it is not the first position. These positions are always get changed. So by using index, you cannot print the values. Okay, there is no way to change the items in a set. So that is the important point. You cannot change the items inside the set. Okay, you cannot update the values, and set cannot contain duplicate values, which I have already told you. Okay, so these are some of the properties of the set. Now let's come to the methods which are normally used on the sets. So the first method which we normally use on the sets is length. Okay, so what this length does, it returns the length of the set. Now if I try to print it, let's say methods methods of the set. Okay, now let's use the methods of the set. I'm printing, let's say I want to print the length of the set. So what I will use the function length. Okay, and I will give the variable of the set inside the function. And if I try to print it, I will get the value. How many elements are there in the set? 6. 1 2 3 4 5 and 6. It will return the length. Okay, another function which is normally used on the sets are remove. So it updates and sets and removes it from the set. Let's say for example we are giving 8 here. In the example we are giving 8. Let's say we have the value 8 here and we are giving the values 8. So what it will does, this function will remove that 8 number from the set and it will update the set. Okay, so earlier its value will be, let's say its value are 6, one element will be removed and it will update its length to 5. Okay, so let's try to remove it. If I want to remove it, what is the function? The function name is remove. So here you have to apply s dot remove and the element which is present, let's say I want to remove 50, so I will write 50 here. Okay, and again I will try to print the set. Let's say I print the set and I will print the length of the set also. So here I am doing two things after removing. I am printing the set as well as I am printing the length of the set. Okay, see this. So here 100, 10, 50, these are the original values. This is the length. Here we have removed 50. So the set, the value 50 is removed from the set and the length of the set is updated by 5. Okay, so that is what is a remove. Now there is one more function which is pop. It removes an arbitrary element from the set and returns the element removed. Okay, so the pop function will remove any arbitrary element from the set. Okay, so let's say this. If I want to remove any arbitrary element, let's say I use s dot pop. So these are the elements we are having now: 100, 10, 20, 60 and 30, and all the elements, any of arbitrary element will be removed and will be returned by this function. So I will, this function is going to return the value, so I will print this value inside the print function. Now see this. Now 100 value is removed. Okay, so here this function has popped the value 100 from the set and it is returned. Now if we try to print the set, we will not get a 100 value. Now see this, 100 is removed, this 100 is returned and 100 is removed from the set. So on line number 21 we have printed the set and we are not getting the values 100. Okay, so this pop element arbitrarily takes any of the element and it removes. Okay, next is clear function. Now this function clears the set. Okay, so that is all clear to you that what is mean by clearing. So all the elements of this set will be removed from the set. So we are not going to use this function because we want to perform some operation on this function, so we are not going to use it. Okay, so always understand clear function empties all the set. Okay, now these are the two main function of related to set which are related to mathematics: union and intersection. Now let's understand what is union and intersection. Now this is related to mathematics. Let's say we are creating two sets s1 and s2. We are creating two sets, s1 is equals to 10, 20, 30, and here we are adding, let's say 40. Okay, and after that we are using 10, let's say 50, 60, 70 and 80. So these are the values we are having. Okay, now what is mean by union or what is mean by intersection? So union means all the values from the both side. Okay, so here only one value is same, rest of the elements are different between both of the sets. Okay, so if you are using a union, what is mean by union? All the elements of s1 and s2 will be printed. Okay, so it's a combination of both the set, but the repeated values will not be printed again. Only one occurrence of the repeated value is allowed. Okay, so if you print the value like print s1 or s2, this is the operator which you have to use for the union. And if we try to print like this, the output we will get the values which are common in both the sets. So here you will get 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 elements total. So 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. So these are the union means the values which are available in s1 as well as the values which are available in s2, that we are going to print with the help of union. Okay, so this is what is a union function. Okay, just a minute. So this is what is the union function. Now what is mean by intersection? Now intersection means what? Only common elements between both the sets will be printed. That is what you call as a intersection. So how to print the intersection? Here you have to use and operator between both of these sets. Okay, so S1 and S2. Okay, what is the mistake they are doing? So here, first of all, you need to take it to the front start of the line, and here this S1 is capital and this S2 is small. So let me make both of them a capital. So here we are creating the union, and here we will make it intersection. Okay, so we are using, you're going to use and then here it will be S2. Okay, so let's S1 and this is S2. Okay, so this will be intersection. Now let's try to run the code. Now see this intersection, we are getting the value 10. So 10 we are getting because 10 and 10 is available in both the set. So that's why we are getting the value only 10. If we have the two values which are same in both the section, let's say 18 and 10, these are the two values which are common. By using intersection we will get the two values here. This will be 18 and 10. So that is all about sets. Thank you all for watching.